first. Ah, yes, it is what everyone is talking about. The grab, the punch, Ross and Noah tangling on the track and then duking it out off the track. Hit me with your best shot. That's what Noah Gragson was saying. Of course, they approached each other post-race. Joey Logano had no idea this was going on behind him. NASCAR security comes up, breaks it up. We only got one punch and didn't get to see how this story ended. So let's go there, right? Let's go there a little bit. Let's start with the incident on the racetrack. You were right in front of them when this was all. I know you're busy, right? I know you weren't looking back there. But what did you see when you saw the highlights?
So we're starting with the incident. We don't even care about the race or the win. We're going to start right with the fight.
The incident.
But let's do it. You know, I think personally, from being on the racetrack and knowing, like, Ross just didn't give Noah enough room. Like, honestly, Ross started to slide up. He tells Noah he thought he was going to clear him, but that's kind of BS. I think he knew that he was putting Noah in a bad spot to where Noah had to either check up or run in the fence, and Noah was going for it. So yeah, I think they collided. I personally think that Ross knew what he was doing and just didn't leave him enough room.
I can't speak to what happened exactly on the track, right? Because I haven't been in these cars at Kansas like you have been. What I will say though is whether that was intentional or not, Ross running him up the track and doing what he did, I think a lot of this goes back to what happened a couple weeks ago at Talladega. You think about Noah Gragson leading the race, thinking his Chevy teammate's going to stay behind him, maybe give him a shove to the end of the race to try and win that race. He puts him 3 wide. Everybody ends up wrecked in the middle right there. So I think that all things considered, there's a lot of build-up to this to get us to the point that we got to.
That wreck took me out of the chance to win Talladega too. So I'm still mad at Ross for that one.
The cool thing about this show is we usually get the key players on the show right after things happen. We don't have Ross, we don't have Noah, but we got the guy that got to interview both of them post-race. So let's hear what both of those guys had to say, and we can see Regan's hand in the mix.
I got tied off of 4 for sure, and Noah and I have a very similar attitude on the racetrack, and we train together, we prepare together. Yeah, I definitely crowded him up off of 4, and he took a swipe at us in 3, and then came down, grabbed a hold of me, and a very big man once told me we have a no-push policy here at Trackhouse, so there was times in the race where we did not have the grip and the balance in the car to do that. A couple good restarts at the end, perfect match set of tires by Phil Surgeon, and it's a heck of a fight from this group.
We had an up and down day. We had a really good start of the race and kind of fell back and had a loose wheel issue, and kind of cautions fell our way, and then got back up there and tire to get used up. It definitely makes it a lot worse because we've flat out sucked this year, and you have somewhat of a decent run going and get used up for, everybody else races super hard but super respectful. And you got one in the field that doesn't. There's no talking to the guy. Sucks that they all get involved. Just let us two work it out and finish it off. But there's no talking to the guy.
All right, so wait a minute. Did Ross Chastain just drop a Days of Thunder quote in the middle of that interview with you? That's pretty slick there. All right, you were down there, right? You were right there. So tell me, like, what the vibe was. Did we know that this was going to happen when these two jumped out of the car?
Well, I think when it initially they got out of the car, I was actually on the front stretch still. We were doing the winner's interview with Denny. We were worried about what was going on up there. And as I was walking back across, I mentioned at the top of the show, there was boos, there was cheers, there was all kinds of noise. It started to go from boos, and at about this point right here, you start to hear cheers as these guys come together, and then I guess the crowd knew what was coming. They knew what they were about to see. At that point, that's when I started really trying to pay attention to what was taking place. By the time I got to Ross, I think, Ross had already calmed down. There was a ton of people around him at that point, and it had changed a little bit. Now, Noah, on the other hand, was a different story. By the time I got to Noah was mad. He was still fired up. I don't think he got the pound of flesh that he wanted to get when he went down there initially, and he was noticeably ready to continue on the fight, if you will, and he was ready to continue on the fight if he could. What I want to see is what happened at their workout on Monday.
Yeah, well, I think that's human instinct, right? Like, you're mad at somebody, you want to go express your displeasure, he punches you in the face, and you don't get a chance to punch him back, right? Like, so understandably, Noah was upset about off track. But on track, I still think that Noah had every right to be mad, right? And I'm not coming from an objective analyst here on the show. Yeah. I'm coming from a biased race car driver that's been on the racetrack with Ross. Ross, to Noah's credit, Noah said, everybody races hard, but of all the people, Ross races the most disrespectfully. Yeah. And most of the time, he doesn't pay the repercussions. And again, this weekend, he battles back to finish top 5. So at some point, the guys in the garage just want to make it known that they're not happy. Noah went down there to try to make that happen. It didn't work out exactly how I think he envisioned it.
So do we think, and I feel like I've asked this question 100 times this season, do we think it's over between Noah Gragson and Ross Chastain?
Absolutely not.
Nope. No, that's
No.
it. Drop the mic. That was it.
Every week it's Ross and somebody else, and at some point you think it's going to be over, and it something else pops up. So I'm with Derek. Nope.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox news, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.